Buddhimantam Asmi Tejasvinam Aham. Repeat after me. O son of Pritha, know that I am the original seed of all existence, the intelligent of the intelligence, and the prowess of all powerful men. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Bijam means seed. Krishna is the seed of everything. There are various living entities, movable and inert. Birds, beasts, men, and many other living creatures are moving living entities. Trees and plants, however, are inert. They cannot move, but only stand. Every entity is contained within the scope of 8,400,000 species of life. Some of them are moving, and some of them are inert. In all cases, however, the seed of their life is Krishna, as stated in the Vedic literature. Brahman, or the supreme absolute truth, is that from which everything is emanating. Krishna is Param Brahman, the supreme spirit. Brahman is impersonal, and Param Brahman is personal. Impersonal Brahman is situated in the personal aspect. That is stated in the Bhagavad Gita. Therefore, originally, Krishna is the source of everything. He is the root. As the root of a tree maintains the whole tree, Krishna, being the original root of all things, maintains everything in the material manifestation. This is also confirmed in the Vedic literatures, in the Katha Upanishad. Nitya Nityanam Chaitanas Chaitananam Eka Bahunam Yo Vidadanti Karanam. He is the primal, eternal amongst all eternals. He is the supreme entity of all living entities. And he alone is maintaining all life. One cannot do anything without intelligence. And Krishna also says that he is the root of all intelligence. Unless a person is intelligent, he cannot understand the supreme personality of Godhead, Krishna. Bijamam Sarvabhutanam Vidiparta Sanatanam Buddhi Buddhiyantam Asmin Tejastasvaramiyam. O son of Pritha, know that I am the original seed of all existence, the intelligent of the intelligent, and the prowess of all powerful men. Om Aginam Timirandasya Ginam Ginam Shalakaya Chaksu Militam Dena Tajmai Shri Guruvai Namaha Panchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. So this verse, the meaning of this verse is that Krishna is the Supreme Father. When living entities are illusion, they think that everything is coming from nothing. Describing this verse, that's not very intelligent. We see the creation is put forward. So if we just accept the creation like that, without understanding what's behind the creation, then that's not very intelligent, according to this verse. So, conditioned souls have lost their intelligence, being in the conditioned life. We think that we're living for such and such a time. And then we become absorbed in our life where we're going to school, we're going to work, we're going to all these things are going on. And so we focus into that. And also we're directed that with where we grew up in our family, they're also directing us to take care of our material life. Actually, the mother and the father become very happy when the children are doing nice in their material life. Isn't that a fact? Just that they're doing good is great. There's so many difficulties. Bad association. These are some of the difficulties. And we think also, when we go to school and when we go to college and when we get a nice education, we think that we're very intelligent, no? And that's a fact. Somebody who's going to school and who's going to college is always thinking he's very intelligent. But describing in this verse, Krishna is describing what intelligence is. If you can become a devotee of the Supreme Personality of God, then you're intelligent. But if you don't want to become a devotee, you don't recognize that you're a devotee of the Lord, who's, as described here, who's providing everything. What is Krishna providing? Krishna is providing something that nobody else can do. What is that? The seed. People plant the seed, they take the seed, they throw it, We throw the seed, but we do not know who made the seed. We make the child, but we do not know who made the seed. We're not conscious of who is providing the intelligence to provide the creation. And no one can make the seed. This is the mystery of life. No one can make the seed. What is the seed is also containing the whole tree with the flowers, with the seed, with the fruits and everything is within the seed. The plant for everything is in the seed. And so if we don't know that, then we just accept everything as we don't know. So life is like we don't know. Huh? And if we want to know, how do we know? Krishna says, he gives the direction. If you want to know, then you have to approach a bona fide spiritual master. When you approach a bona fide spiritual master is not just like a teacher. A spiritual master is like a father. If you think a spiritual master is like a teacher, then you'll miss the whole job. A spiritual master is representing Krishna, who is the Supreme Father. So he's also father figure. What does a father do? A father directs a child, how to cross the street. You see some children, they're crossing the street with their parents. And the parents will say, you stop when the sign says stop. And you go when the sign says walk. Very important. If a child runs in the road, doesn't the parent get really upset with that? Right? If a child runs in the road, the parent says, what? I'm going to beat you, I'm going to kill you. Why? Because the teacher wants to get the proper message over to the student. A father is like a teacher. An ordinary father just takes care of the body and shows you how to do material life. But the divine father, he shows you how to go back to God, how to become self-realized. Self-realized means that first thing we work with is the body, to have the body purified. The body is purified by taking prasada, by coming to the temple, by walking, by engaging the body in devotional service. The body becomes purified. When the body is purified and the mind is purified, then we'll be able to see the real self. The self is hidden. Not everyone, we take it, I'm Mr. Such and Such, I'm from America, I'm from New Jersey. A body identity, usually. But this is not the real self. The real self is deep within the heart. And to get to understand and to come to the full realization of the self, a process is required. One has to be humble. If one is not humble, then one will not be able to make any progress. Humble means that somebody else knows more than I do. That's not strange. If somebody knows more than us, that's not strange. Because we can't know everything. And just like you go to school, the teacher is supposed to know more than we do. If the teacher doesn't know more, what's the sense in going to school? So in Krishna consciousness, we're not just following ourselves. We think ourselves is misguided. We're not following ourselves. We've followed ourselves for so many lives. And look, we're still in the material world. Right? We're still in the material world. So it means that we have to follow somebody who is authorized, who is bona fide, who is purified, who is realized. And that's the direction that Krishna is giving. Krishna is the one who trains the devotee and who purifies that devotee. So that he's able to realize the self. The self is not easy to realize. Because to realize the self, you have to overcome the desires for the material world. We have living in the material world. If you do not try to get out of it, if you do not try to become purified and realized, then you remain in the material world. You take another birth. And it's also very dangerous to be in the material world. Because you can always get misguided by bad association. And you can lose time, meaning that your stay in the material world will become extended. It's all who we choose to become attached to. If we are attached to someone, if they are a non-devotee, then our future will also be non-devotee. If we're attached to someone who's a devotee, then our future will be devotee. So it's all based on who we desire to be attached to. If you're attached to a fool, you will become a fool. If you're attached to a wise man, you'll become a wise man. So association is so important. We don't know somebody who's more than us. We have to come to that point where Krishna graces us with somebody who knows a little more than we do, somebody who's more realized. And we hear from them. Somebody is realized doesn't mean he had to be a great scholar to be Krishna conscious. Because little babies are Krishna conscious. Little boys, Dhruva Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, those are not big men, those are boys. And you see all of these persons that Krishna is with in the pastime, most of them are children, no? Krishna is playing with children in the pastime. Krishna is not like all the time mixing with big men. He's with little girls, he's with little boys. Why? Because they are purified souls. Prabhupada said these souls that are with Krishna are not ordinary souls. They are devotees from the past life. If you're a devotee from the past life, then in this life, being a devotee is going to be easy. But if you haven't been a devotee of something like that in the past life, then being a devotee is going to be very hard. It's going to be a new thing. It's going to be very new. You're going to have to think differently. As a devotee, you cannot think that my people, my body. You have to learn to think above the body platform. That is what Srila Prabhupada is teaching. How to rise above the bodily identity. That way you will become liberated. That's what everybody is striving for. That is what Krishna is giving. That is coming from Krishna's supreme intelligence. Krishna is supremely intelligent. Therefore, Krishna is giving himself, Krishna is offering himself to everyone, but Krishna is only giving himself to somebody who is genuine. He's not wasting time. Why should he waste time? Krishna doesn't waste any time. If you don't want to take shelter what Krishna is saying now, you can always take birth again, you come some other time. Krishna is not in a rush, But if you are wise, then you'll be in the rush. You can't take it anymore, being separated from the Supreme Person. That's the great fortune. Just like Srila Prabhupada describing here, there is the Vaikuntha worlds. The Vishnu, where Lord Vishnu is living, where Krishna is living. You know, they are not going through, you never see a picture of Krishna old. Have you ever seen a picture of Krishna old? Nobody. You know? So that means in the spiritual world, nobody gets old. And in the spiritual world, you know, there's no hospital. Nobody is rushing the ambulance, like from in New York, right? Always the ambulance is going on. If you don't get the ambulance, then it's not New York. That means always trouble, always danger, always misfortune going on. Steady going on. And why this is so, the poor living entity, they can't even find a way out. Sometimes people take to religion, and they're hoping that God will help them to get out of the misery. But if you take sort of religion, if you don't have a bona fide spiritual master, how are you going to find the truth? Most people in religion are eating meat, they have a body concept of life, how are they going to find the truth? You only find the truth with somebody who knows the truth. That's the only place. And then you have to make association with that person. Just like the persons in the world who are Srila Prabhupada's disciples, they didn't make up Krishna consciousness on their own. When they came to Srila Prabhupada, they threw everything they knew away. And they took the correct guidance, the correct training, the correct knowledge from Srila Prabhupada. That's why they're happy persons. They're making progress in spiritual life. And they're becoming free from the body. My body, your body, you know. The whole world is crazy about the body. You know, forgetting the soul. So in Krishna consciousness, you get the full knowledge how to become enlightened. Enlightened means that you're always ecstatic and you're always blissful. If you're not ecstatic, if you're not blissful, then you're not Krishna conscious. Because Krishna conscious, only a person is extremely blissful and happy. That doesn't mean that all the time you'll be ecstatic. You have to, if there's difficulties a day, you'll have to face the difficulties. You know, if difficulties are there, you won't be laughing at the difficulties. You know? So we have to be realistic. So problems will be there. But as long as we have the knowledge and realization, then we'll have what it takes to overcome the difficulties, overcome the problem, and attain the transcendental ecstasy that's in the spiritual dimension. That can be realized. The secret in Krishna consciousness is that Krishna shows himself to someone. He may not show himself to us, but he shows himself to somebody who's surrendered. And if we also surrender, Krishna will show himself to us also. Just like Srila Prabhupada said that Krishna reveals himself to Lord Brahma in the beginning. So same way, Krishna is revealing himself to everyone who is determined, who is surrendered. What has to be done is the good qualities have to be realized. A devotee has all these good qualities, Krishna has all these good qualities. So Srila Prabhupada said that when you contact Krishna, there is the exchange of qualities. And so it is not just a matter of knowing you're not the body. That's the beginning. And that's very important. But understanding how the love will develop. The love is the ecstasy. The ecstasy is not just, samadhi is not just, I'm feeling good. People think like that. When we don't know what samadhi is, we think it's, I'm just sitting and I'm just feeling good. Actually, that's not samadhi. Samadhi is loving Krishna, is a loving energy, loving consciousness. That is samadhi. Somebody who doesn't know that, they try to get spiritual consciousness in different ways. Without the love cannot come if it's, as described here, if it's impersonal, then nobody will become happy with that. If you try to understand the impersonal Brahman, then you cannot love the impersonal Brahman because you're not able to. That's very difficult. People try to love the impersonal Brahman, but it's not possible. It's described here, the impersonal Brahman is contained within the personal form. That's difficult to understand. That means that Krishna's form and Krishna's personality, the Brahman effulgence is emanating from him. It's not that Brahmajyoti is emanating Krishna. It's Krishna who's emanating the Brahmajyoti. And that is what you can learn from the spiritual master. Because these advanced subjects, who knows them? Only an enlightened person can know that. You cannot know that unless you're surrendered, unless you're dedicated, unless you're realized, unless you have a bona fide spiritual master. You know, it's just like if you go into a different country. If you go into a different country, you cannot go to the country, or you like, storm the country. Or go there illegally. So something like that, you cannot attain Krishna illegally. That will be authorized. And the person who is teaching you have to be authorized. Or else the effect won't be there. So, we are expecting the mercy. How do we get the mercy? It is the Vedic culture. What do we do in the Vedic culture? How do we get the mercy? We get the mercy. Why do you think they're touching the feet of realized souls? Doing some service for realized souls. Listening to realized souls. All of these processes will purify one. Getting a garland from the deity. This is purified. Doing some service. All of these things are purified. Purified means that the body will vanish away. The consciousness, when it's purified, it doesn't have a strong identity with the body. The body concept is only there because the soul is not realized. And when a person becomes realized, then you should know that is the perfection of life. The perfection of life is not getting a big business. People think like that. If I get a big business, my life is perfect. Isn't that right? So we all try to perfect our lives in different ways. Somebody think, if I have a nice family, I'm perfect. Actually, Prabhupada said that in Kali Yuga, even just having a nice family, you're doing very great. Because it's so difficult to even maintain a family and have everybody doing the right thing. In this age. In the previous age, it was easy. This age is very confusing. So, but if there's a storm, what do? If there's a storm, you take shelter from the storm. You don't go out in the storm and get blown away. Right? If there's a storm, you cannot say there's no storm. There's a storm. It's danger. The danger is that you are going to have a bad future if you're not Krishna conscious. That is the danger. The danger is taking birth. Srila Prabhupada said in the womb, the baby promises, the soul promises in the womb that this time, I'm not messing around. This time, I'm going to take this opportunity and be enlightened, be Krishna conscious. But we see as soon as the soul comes get the body and comes down, then they forget everything about that. You get in some bad association, you get like little kids running around without proper guidance, you forget everything about your promise you made to the Supreme Lord. And then you get misled. Except a wise person. A wise person remembers what he had promised to the Supreme. And therefore, he begins to seek it out. As you seek, then you will find. So he begins to seek it out here and there. And by his seeking, then Krishna rewards that person by giving him the bona fide spiritual master. As I said, the spiritual master is not just like a teacher. The spiritual master is like a mother and a father in one. Very, if you want to know about the spiritual master, it's very emotional. You think you find something out if you have no emotion. I have no emotion, so I want to study everything. I want to understand everything intellectually. But if you understand properly, you can only understand it if you have emotion. If you have the emotion is where the love is situated. The emotion develops, the love develops. So if you have the emotion, the thing is, how are you going to get the emotion? Prabhupada described that conditioned souls have different qualities of hearts, Some hearts are soft, some hearts are kind of mediocre, some hearts are like hard, like steel. they are not loving at all. They're not loving at all. And some people are soft-hearted, they speak nicely, they speak softly, and they're lovely. So according to the condition of the heart, then you'll be able to make advancement. If your heart is a hard heart, then it's going to take a long time to become purified. A long time. It can take many births. The heart, if it's hard, it's hard. And our heart becomes hard if we're unconscious. If we're unconscious, then we treat other living entities badly. We kill them, we eat them, we do whatever, we don't care. So then our heart becomes hard. But if we take the spiritual life, we recognize these living entities and we take care of them and we respect them and we have love for them, then we will be Krishna conscious. The real worship of the Lord is done in the heart of every entity. That's the super soul. That is the original deity form of the Lord. So we cannot just worship the deity and then we do not see what the super soul is doing. It's very, Krishna consciousness is very advanced spiritual life. It's something that only you will know if God lets you know. In Krishna consciousness, there is no competition that is due to false ego. Who's better, who's less, who knows more, who that. When you come to Krishna consciousness, you drop all of that. You're the servant of others, so how can you be better than others? That's Krishna consciousness. You're the lover of others, so nobody can hate you because you love everyone. And nobody is better than you because you're not competing with anyone. So this is where the competing stops. In the material world, everybody is competing. Who looks like this, who looks like that, who's got this, who's got that. It's one. So that's foolish. You stay in the material world, you compete, and you're still a fool because you're in the material world. Birth, death, old age, and disease. So how can that be? How can that be the real life, what God is giving? That's not what God is giving. You're just going through a stage that you have to get to where you belong. And that, in Krishna consciousness, you get to understand everything clearly. You get to understand everything clearly. That is why the classes are important. We come and sit in the class, we sit in the lecture, and we get the information through the ears. This oral reception. All it determines, all it needs is the correct person with the correct attitude and the correct knowledge and the correct mercy from the spiritual master to make it possible. And the rest is just hearing. Just like those who had the opportunity to live with Srila Prabhupada and to be with him, there was simply association and hearing. In the morning, you would hear the Bhagavatam class given by Srila Prabhupada. And it's described also just like the sun. When the sun rises, when you're in the Bhagavatam class, the sun, a lot of times the sun is rising about that time when you're in the Bhagavatam class, right? So you're in the Bhagavatam class, the sun is rising outside, the sun is rising inside, in your heart also. That is the effect of spiritual life. It cannot be known by somebody who doesn't do it. You cannot do it right away either. You may do it for a long time and you're still not perfect. You have to keep trying and trying and trying. Success is built on so many, failures. So don't expect to be a pure devotee right away. Don't become discouraged if you don't see Krishna right away. When I was a new devotee for about 6 months, I went and told the temple president that I'm not feeling Krishna. I wasn't feeling it, And so he said, so that's all right. That means that you're still impure. So that you have to continue more and more. And then, after many, many years and many, many years, then you begin to, appreciate and, taste something. The whole Krishna consciousness is based on your ability to taste. Taste is where everything is situated. It's not just mentally, I know something. Taste is very important. In Krishna consciousness, we wake up different senses, spiritual senses, that belong to the soul. When somebody is in conditioned life, these senses are dead. They're dormant. They're not working. But when you come to spiritual life, these senses, they wake up. And what these senses are, it's called consciousness in the heart. That's the sense that you can taste love of Krishna through your pure consciousness. And so that is the spiritual sense. So to cultivate that requires an association, a program for doing that. Just like you're coming on the temple on Sunday, you have to do that continually. Then you do extra, you do more. Anytime you surrender more, Krishna reciprocates with that. If you bring a flower for Krishna, Krishna gives you something in return. Everything is exchange. That's love. Love is not like one way. You're loving Krishna. That's one way. But you have to see also, you love Krishna, Krishna will also love you also. It's not one way. It's reciprocation. Prabhupada said love means two. The lover and the beloved. And that's where you'll find Krishna. Every living entity is the same thing. We all need the same thing. We don't need a little bit of happiness, right? Who's satisfied with a little bit of happiness? Prabhupada gives the example. If you take a fish out of the water and you just put a little bit of water on the head, you put a little bit of water on the head just to keep it alive. That's not what a fish wants, right? A fish wants to be swimming in the water. So the position of material life, our happiness is limited. And it's always a dangerous position. We get a beautiful car, we're driving the car, but we're thinking it's danger. See? You have happiness and danger mixed at the same time. Prabhupada said, just like sometimes you see a squirrel, he's eating, but he's looking around, just to be safe. So the material life is, dangerous. So we shouldn't think that, I have all this time and everything is going to be nice, The time is counting down. You're going to have to leave the body. Everybody leaves the body. You also will have to leave the body. Before you leave the body, you have to become self-realized. That is what Krishna is saying. That's what Krishna is teaching. The whole Bhagavad Gita is geared to that. So that when you leave the body, you can come back home. Not that Krishna doesn't want you to take another birth in the material world suffering. So therefore, anyone that becomes Krishna conscious, it is their duty to help other devotees. That becomes their duty. It doesn't like, I'm doing well, I just care about myself, as long as I do great, I'll make it back to Godhead, No. You have to be aware and you have to be helpful to other devotees. If you help other devotees, then you'll become a devotee. You don't become a devotee just being with the bad qualities, you just want to help yourself. So the training is there. Training is, just like you train an animal to go through the hurdles. Sometimes you have the dog and running, the dog is under this one, on top of that one, over there, jumping down. So it requires training. If you just put a dog that's not trained, they'll not be able to do that. Sometimes you see the dog run on top, under, and he stops and he loses, because he's not trained properly. So we got to take the training. We have to be fortunate to get the training. When we was young, we were fortunate to get the training from Srila Prabhupada. That is a very good training. You get trained from a pure devotee. That's like a spiritual college degree. You get a very nice training. If you had to pay for that training, it would cost you thousands and thousands of dollars. It's so valuable. But the spiritual master, he doesn't charge anything to be enlightened. In the college, they charge you, for material knowledge. You big expense, And it's still, if you just have material knowledge, you're going to be a loser if you don't have spiritual enlightenment. That's why, devotees, they all have their nice material life going on, but they make sure that they put energy into their Krishna consciousness. Because they're very intelligent. As Krishna describes here, a very intelligent person, they try to become Krishna conscious. They try to become a devotee. That's the most intelligent thing. So Krishna is giving the information. Those who are intelligent, they'll take to it and become realized. Those who are not intelligent, then they're going to not get that. At the time of leaving the body, they'll say, oh man, I wasted so much time. Why didn't I become Krishna conscious? What was the difficulty? Why didn't I do it? So Krishna conscious means being happy, no regrets. Know what I failed to do. Know what I didn't do. No regrets. Live the perfect life. Become enlightened. Learn how to love others. And therefore you'll be able to love Krishna, who is the father of everyone. You notice Krishna not coming directly and saying, I am your father. That's for you to find out. He's just giving the information. Krishna cannot make anyone love him. He's not doing that. If you want to love him, you know your position, you should love your father. You should love your mother. So therefore you should love Krishna, you should love Allah. But if you don't not doing that, then you're going to be unhappy. That's all it is. So, you follow the directions, what is given by pure devotees. All pure devotees are saying the same thing. No pure devotee says something different than another pure devotee. They all say the same thing. And that is what Prabhupada stressed, to remain loyal to the Sampradaya. Don't concoct anything. Just get from what the pure devotee is giving and become realized with that knowledge. Don't try to make up anything and don't try to concoct anything. That is the principle. And then you'll become, if you don't try to concoct anything, you just depend on the mercy of the spiritual master, then you'll become an empowered devotee. Empowered devotee means that person can change the world. Just like Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada changed the world. Hinduism has changed forever. Because Prabhupada brought it for everyone. What a wonderful person Prabhupada is. And so if we're loyal to Srila Prabhupada, we'll keep it tight, keep it nice, keep it together, and don't concoct anything. When somebody is speaking, they'll be able to speak directly what Prabhupada is given. Prabhupada is gone, but his disciple is here, and he can say what Prabhupada said. What Prabhupada wanted and what Prabhupada. Because the connection with Prabhupada is not on the philosophy, it's in the heart. Through loving connection. That way you'll find Krishna. If you do not find love, hey, guess what? You won't find Krishna either. Very important. Don't philosophize your way around loving. There's no better philosophy than loving, so don't try to invent something. And then Krishna will be pleased. When Krishna is pleased, then you'll become enlightened devotee, and you'll be able to do service and help the fallen humanity and so many things. A Krishna conscious person can really help others. Sometimes we take it lightly that somebody, after the program, we might be talking to some guest or just a simple talk. That's very important for that person to hear that. Sometimes what happens, that person, their whole life changes from hearing a Krishna conscious person. So it's very important. Just like our life got changed by hearing Srila Prabhupada. No one could give us what Srila Prabhupada gave us. Nobody could do that. So we offer our respects to the spiritual master. And we offer our respects to devotees who are following the pure devotee. And because that is the only way somebody can become actually realized and enlightened and be able to help everyone. So it's Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers. We should remember that Krishna is the Supreme Father. Krishna is the only real Father. Krishna is hiding in the heart. If you want to find Krishna, He's not giving himself. Krishna is not giving himself to somebody who is not surrendered. Krishna is only sharing himself with somebody who is in love with him. That's all. If you want to share in the ecstasy and the love of Krishna, then that is your right. As a child of Krishna, you can do that. And that's what this Krishna consciousness movement is all about. Making the opportunity so everybody can find Krishna. If you're a Christian, you can find Krishna. If you're a Buddhist, you can find Krishna. If you're Muslim, you can find Krishna. Krishna is not less than anything. So when your God is keeping people away from Him who are not genuine. But He is bringing people closer to Him who are genuine. This is what God is doing. So if you're coming close to God, it is God who's giving you that opportunity. God is doing that. So you have to take it very seriously. Don't take it, just by chance, I find, no. And then if you do like that, then you'll become happy. Krishna consciousness means happy, blissful, ecstatic. And so if you do that, you have full opportunity. You should take this bead bag. You should chant the holy name, Hare Krishna, that will purify the heart. Don't underestimate the holy name. Krishna's name and Himself is non-different. Krishna is hiding, but He cannot hide from somebody who loves Him. So you have to develop that. And in this way, you become like. So, happy Father's Day, like I said. I would just want to open a few minutes for the question part. Questions are very important, If you get your questions answered, then you'll begin to make advancement right away. And the position of a devotee who's authorized is simply repeating questions and giving answers according to what they've learned from Srila Prabhupada. And therefore everything is right. So, devotees, any questions? Any questions? Prabhus? Usually, when all the devotees have no questions, this means that they're becoming enlightened. So of course there'll be no questions, because everything is becoming realized. The speaker is already giving the answer to questions in the talk. And so, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, and please continue with your temple, be ecstatic, be supportive, and I'm sure Krishna will bless everyone, and you'll be very happy after being like Hare Krishna. All this. Eat a lot of Bhusara. And get a lot of hugs.